Ever go back to an old RTS and think, wait, how was this even a thing back then? Some of those games weren't just good for their time, they were straight up ahead of the curve. We're talking mechanics no one else dared to try, visuals that still impress, and ideas that didn't catch on till years later. Today, we're looking at 10 RTS games that were way ahead of their time. Let's get into it. Rise of Nations wasn't just another RTS. It was a masterclass in blending fast-paced action with deep strategic layers. It took the moment-to-moment intensity of games like Age of Empires and fused it with the grand scale of civilization. You weren't just commanding troops, you were shaping a nation. Expanding borders gave access to vital resources, but also made you vulnerable. Every city mattered, acting as a key economic and strategic center, rather than just a place to churn out units. The tech tree spanned from ancient times to the modern era, all within one seamless session. Supply lines and attrition forced smart logistics, not just brute force. And despite all this depth, the game never lost momentum. It moved fast, but every decision had weight. Rise of Nations remains a rare example of a strategy game that rewards both quick thinking and long-term planning without ever feeling bloated or slow. Company of Heroes took RTS to a whole new level by adding an unmatched layer of realism. From the get-go, it treated cover, positioning, and line of sight as core mechanics, not just side notes. Infantry took actual cover behind wreckage, tanks flanked the enemy, and machine guns could lock down entire areas if left unchecked. It didn't just feel like you were controlling units, it felt like commanding a real squad. The destruction system was revolutionary. Buildings didn't just take damage, they collapsed piece by piece as fire rained down. Explosions changed the landscape, making each battle unpredictable. You weren't simply managing an army, you were constantly adapting to a dynamic battlefield that shifted with every minute. The territory-based resource system pushed you to fight for control of the map, turning every match into a fierce struggle for dominance. Company of Heroes didn't need flashy gimmicks. Its solid mechanics made every moment tense and every choice crucial.
Let's go! Let's go, people!
Sergeant Connie? Ready?
Yes, sir.
Ground Control took a bold step away from the norm in real-time strategy. No base building, no resource gathering, just pure, tactical combat. That alone made it stand out from the crowd. Instead of managing tech trees or spamming units, you focused entirely on positioning, timing, and maximizing your squad's abilities. Every unit counted, because replacements were rare unless the mission demanded it. The camera system was another game changer. You could rotate, zoom in, and dive right into the action, giving each battle a cinematic feel. For the early 2000s, that level of immersion was almost unheard of. Watching tanks push over a hill with air support swooping in felt more like watching a war movie than playing a game. The interface was minimalist, letting you focus on the battle. With its sleek sci-fi design and constant mission challenges, Ground Control didn't just follow genre conventions, it rewrote them, setting a new bar for tactical gameplay.
Affirmative.
Enemy attacking command APC.
I'm at the rendezvous point, but the Order has discovered my absence and is hunting me. Please, hurry.
Affirmative. Attacking.
Enemy attacking Squad 1. Enemy infantry destroyed. Squad 2 taking friendly fire.
Empire Earth was like Age of Empires on steroids, with a level of ambition that was downright mind-blowing. It didn't just stick to ancient or medieval times, it took you from the dawn of humanity all the way to the future, featuring mechs and plasma weapons. The scope was massive, especially for the early 2000s. I remember playing and thinking, how is this even possible on my PC? You had over 500,000 years of history in one campaign, and every age felt different, not just a cosmetic change. What really stood out was the tech tree. It was huge and complex, but in the best way possible. You had to manage your economy, military, and even morale, stuff most games didn't touch at the time. Units aged out, so if you didn't keep up, you'd be using spearmen against tanks. The unit voiceovers changed with the eras, adding an awesome layer of immersion. The map editor? You could lose hours making your own scenarios. Empire Earth might not have been the most polished, but in terms of ambition and scale, it was light years ahead.
What's the story?
Command and Conquer. Generals took the series in a fresh direction by ditching the over-the-top theatrics and embracing a more grounded, modern military approach. It still kept that fast-paced, strategic gameplay, but with an added layer of faction diversity that kept things exciting. The United States brought cutting-edge tech and air dominance. China powered through with overwhelming numbers and heavy tanks, and the GLA used guerrilla tactics, relying on traps and unorthodox weapons. This made every match feel like a constant puzzle, where no one faction had a clear counter to another. The game was visually stunning, with satisfying explosions and smooth animations that made every battle feel impactful. The unit balance was tight, and the base-building aspect remained strategic without becoming a chore. Generals also had a killer skirmish mode, offering hours of experimentation with different strategies. It was confident, mechanically sound, and still one of the best real-time strategy experiences out there.
Heavy armor ready. Heavy armor ready. Proceeding to target zone. Proceeding to target zone.
Select target. Congratulations, General. You have been promoted. Upgrade complete.
Titan ready.
That one's
Upgrade
done.
complete.
About time. Ready.
Gunship reporting in. Breaking the sound barrier.
Sacrifice was one of the most unique and ambitious strategy games ever made. Instead of managing from above like a typical RTS, you controlled a powerful wizard in third person, right in the thick of the action. You summoned bizarre creatures, cast massive spells, and fought to control souls across strange, shifting landscapes. The visuals were wild, dreamlike, and surreal, and the gameplay never stuck to convention. You chose to serve one of 5 gods, each offering a completely different set of units, spells, and playstyles. Switching gods even mid-campaign changed how you approached battles entirely. That dynamic, along with branching campaign paths, gave it serious replay value. Sacrifice blurred the lines between RTS, action, and RPG in a way no other game really had. It was tough to learn, but once it clicked, it delivered something bold and unforgettable. It didn't get the spotlight it deserved, but it's still a cult classic for a reason.
Let's show those blighters what for.
Gamel is one salty old veteran. Hero of the first Battle of Karn, to hear him tell it. Oh, he's handy to have in a fight, to be sure, but he could have a touch more respect for his betters, if you ask me.
Товарищи! It's good to see you all here today. And it will be even better to see you soon.
World in Conflict broke the mold of traditional RTS games and delivered something truly cinematic and tactical. Instead of building bases and gathering resources, you were thrown right into the front lines of a fictional Soviet invasion of the US, managing reinforcements and reacting in real time. It played more like a modern war simulator than a classic strategy game, and that shift made it feel fresh and gripping. You had a set budget to call in units, tanks, infantry, helicopters, or artillery via airdrop, and your loadout choice had real impact. Adapting mid-match could mean the difference between victory and defeat. The action was fast, the tension constant. Multiplayer was a standout, with each player choosing a specific battlefield role like air, armor, infantry, or support. That forced real teamwork and communication, making every match feel like a coordinated operation. World in Conflict captured the chaos, drama, and scale of modern warfare better than almost any RTS before or since. It was bold, smart, and unforgettable. Homeworld was the first RTS to fully commit to 3D space. And it didn't just add depth, it built its entire identity around it. For the first time, you had to think in every direction, up, down, and everything in between. That shifted how battles played out completely. Enemies could strike from unexpected angles, and managing your fleet meant constantly adjusting the camera and navigating a true 3D battlefield. The game's tone was somber and atmospheric, with a minimalist visual style and a haunting score that made space feel vast and lonely. You weren't just commanding units, you were guiding a refugee fleet, and every ship mattered. Losses carried over between missions, making each decision weighty. Formations, positioning, and strategy made all the difference. The interface was elegant, despite the complexity, and the gameplay felt tight and thoughtful. Homeworld didn't just innovate, it redefined what an RTS could be. Even today, nothing else plays quite like it.
Group 1. Attack coordinates locked in.
Warzone 2100 was way ahead of its time when it came to tech and unit customization. While most RTS games offered simple upgrade trees, Warzone let you build your units from scratch. You researched individual components, chassis, weapons, sensors, and combined them to create exactly what your strategy called for. Light scout with rockets, heavy tank with artillery, you had full control. The campaign wasn't just a series of disconnected missions either. It played out as a continuous war, with research and units carrying over, giving your choices real weight. Losing a custom unit stung because it was one you designed and relied on. The 3D terrain mattered too. Elevation could give you the edge, and smart positioning paid off. Add in radar and sensor systems, and the game demanded situational awareness, not just brute force. Its interface was clean, intuitive, and futuristic for its era. Warzone 2100 felt like a strategy game from years ahead, packed with innovation most of the genre hadn't caught up to.
Unit under attack.
Group 1 reporting.
Major research predicting power resource. Production completed. Scavenger base eradicated.
Total Annihilation hit the scene with a level of ambition that honestly felt wild for the late 90s. While most RTS games were still playing small ball, this one gave you control of massive armies, full-scale wars, and construction queues that never seemed to end. You could automate units, zoom way out, and actually manage an entire battlefield without babysitting every move. The unit AI, way ahead of its time. You could stack up complex commands and they'd just do it. No hand-holding needed. Terrain actually mattered too. Elevation changed line of sight, and positioning had real tactical weight. And then there were the physics, real projectile systems, where shots could miss, terrain got wrecked, and nothing felt scripted. Watching artillery shells rain down and crater the land was just epic. Total Annihilation wasn't just impressive, it felt like a time traveler from the future dropped it off early. It's crazy how ahead of their time some of these games were. They didn't always get the spotlight, but their influence is still felt today. From groundbreaking mechanics to unforgettable world building, they set the stage for what came next. If you skipped any back then, now's your chance. Stylish Legit wants to know, which one are you finally playing now? Stick around for more hidden gems and strategy legends.